What's up, Raiders? Bionic here. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I've been playing around with Gurptuk. I somewhat built him for Tag Arena at some point, then it ended up getting, I'll say, somewhat better options. But recently, I've tried to use the gear that I've put on him and then see if it could actually work. And so today we're going to cover Gurptuk. We're going to do a build video on this guy because although he has some decent gear, I'm going to say that he doesn't necessarily have the best gear he could have for what I've been trying to do. Still, I think he deserves to, this should be relatively easy, let's go in it. He should somewhat be useful to some extent because of the way his kit works. And so you'll see that in here, I have him as this, right, where I'm going to apply the poison debuffs, where I could use this to make, or to deal more damage. Or I can use this along with the Mausoleum Mage to clear them, get a bigger heal, and get a bigger turn meter increase. Okay, so there's two ways to somewhat use him in that sense, where you can get more damage out of the guy or just have better utility overall depending on who else you use. His aura is actually also pretty decent. If, let's say, you can't use your Rosin, which is somewhat my problem every now and then because my Rosin is built for Clan Boss. He has the better aura for the arena, but this guy has a 50 resistance. So if you want to put him on this heavy resistance team, he can actually work to some extent, okay? And I also built him to have a lot of resistance, which is why I now have him on this team right now. You'll also see that I do not have this guy completely booked. I have 0 books in him. I don't think he is worthy of books, at least not right now. And so for the time being, I dropped the Rosin and I'm working with the Mountain King to deal the damage. So again, this is not about just one champion. It's always about the entire team. Anyway, so let's go over how I built my Gurptuk, which by the way is also as is in my current Faction Wars team for Ogryn Tribes 21, okay? And this is completed for me, okay? And I can put him on stage 20 on auto. It works most of the time, but I do have to control it a little bit. So I might change the gear of the other champions on that team, or at least some of them, because Gurptuk, since he's hurting your team, I think he would be really good to have on a team where the other champions would have something like Fury or Frenzy sets, right? As you're always taking that poison, then you might get a little bit more out of your other champions. But for the time being, we're going to look at my Gurptuk as is, okay? And I decided to go with Avenging. Again, Relentless here could be really good. I suppose you could also have Frenzy on this guy as well. Avenging seemed decent because if you get hit and a lot of poison buffs are up on your champions, then he's just going to take more turns and heal your team a little bit more. I think the heal on his A1 is actually really solid if you can get this to happen all the time. Also, you'll see that my current Masteries do not put the emphasis on this, although it could, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a sort of better scenario for the Masteries and how you could possibly make this guy even better if you do plan on using it. But for the time being, I have a pretty reasonable Avenging set on him. I'm going to say, like, this gear is actually pretty solid overall for my account. Just look at his resistance and accuracy, which we'll do in a second, okay? But let's go over piece by piece. We have crit rate, speed, resistance, a lot of resistance here as well, speed and crit rate. We have a pretty solid shield here that used to be on a different champion, but look at this resistance, right? Like almost 50 resistance on one piece. That's pretty solid. On the gloves, we have crit damage. This is not optimal, but it's sort of the only thing I had lying around that sort of made sense for the Avenging set that I was trying to build. We do have defense percent chest with resistance. Again, you're not really looking for this guy to deal damage. You just want him to go as often as possible, so even more speed on him would be better. Like I said, Relentless would be that much better, but I don't have a solid resistance Relentless set lying around. This is all I had extra on my account, okay? And we have 6-star speed boots with HP percent, crit rate, attack percent. Great boots overall, but like, you know, not exactly perfect for this build. Then the ring, we have HP with some defense percent. For the amulet, we have HP. And for the banner, we have, of course, accuracy, okay? So you do want some accuracy on this guy, but you also want some resistance because you do not want him to be crowd control since he's there to be somewhat of a healer at the same time, okay? Then, as I said, for the skills, nothing are done, or none of them are done whatsoever. And he was recently buffed, in case you guys kind of missed that. This was reduced to a 2.5% poison on all allies for 3 turns. If you would book this to a 3-turn cooldown, you would actually get more out of this guy because he could cycle around And if you have the mastery to extend the debuffs, Master Hexer, this could go up to a 4-turn. So if you would have 3-turn cooldown, 4-turn here, you could actually come back around and have more than just 3 poison debuffs on your own team, therefore dealing even more damage and getting even more resistance from the passive. But I did not build him that way originally because, again, I had sort of a slightly different plan from him. This here as well in a 2-turn cooldown would be huge. It would be amazing. I would love to try this out, but I'm holding off on those extra legendary tomes for the time being. Maybe one day I will do it for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you like to see this guy maxed out on my account? That would be pretty funny. So for the support tree, I suppose getting Arcane Celerity and Master Hexer for what I've been trying to do would maybe be a little bit better, okay? But as I said, I would have to change the gear of the rest of my champions for this to work as I would like it to. But for now, I went with this here instead, a little bit more like resistance, very tanky, and you saw with that fight, it kind of worked anyway, all right? So don't blindly copy this, but as I said, I would probably add at least Arcane Celerity and the Master Hexer. I think that Lasting Gifts is also pretty important on this guy. If you are going to build him for a lot of resistance, I also think that the T6 Unshakable is actually pretty important. So I would keep defense and support, but I would switch this up a little bit, right? Maybe drop this portion right here, go more into a split, and then get the Lasting Gifts and Master Hexer, okay? So that's my quick recommendation for you guys. And as you saw with that fight and the previous one, my team has been working out fine for Classic Gold 4 Arena. Of course, you also need to factor in the Great Hall because it does affect the stats. So what we'll do is we'll go back into the arena and maybe try a slightly different team, or maybe something that's perhaps a little bit harder for this team, and we'll see if we can survive, right? Or if we can actually kill those champions. Like this right here could be super annoying. I'm thinking it would have a hard time dealing with this team right here, or at least on auto. Let's see if maybe we can, yeah, let's grab this. Let's see if we can go in and maybe control the fight, and if we can beat a team like this one. Of course, they boost up. They're going to go on counterattack. We did get provoked, okay? So as you saw there, I do not have quite enough resistance. Why? Because I used to have rosin in here, which gave me an extra 40 on top of the 50 resistance that I'm getting from my Gurptuk, and this guy is only sitting at about 350-ish. Same thing as my Mountain King. These two guys are sitting closer to, like, this guy's almost at 590. This one here close to 500. Okay, so you see that even for Gold 4, not quite enough. I would need to make this even better. So now in here, we're going to try and control this Trunda because she's the one that deals the most amount of damage. We're going to clear these debuffs, luckily, right, with our really solid Mausolean Mage here. And then we're going to go into this right here. Can we apply to block debuffs? We did, but a little bit late. We would have liked to do that before this Valkyrie gets the chance to put up her counterattack. But now let's get to work on this Arbiter. She's down, obviously. Mountain King in here is the guy to deal the damage. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. He's going to be more of a support Gurptuk, obviously, right? This is our sort of like our tanky, our meat shield. We want to just provoke with this guy constantly on the most annoying champion on the enemy team so that they keep just attacking this guy, reducing their max HP to a point where we could proc the fear off of his passive, okay? Then I suppose we could go for an AoE here, hopefully get them to attack us, right? Counterattack, same thing here. We want this guy to be attacked, that's normal. Then we're going to buff up. We are going to, we could remove everything here, but we're not going to do that. At this point, we want to start loading up on some continuous heals, okay? And she doesn't have counterattack anymore, right? No, we're good. So we're going to start attacking this Trunda. And then look at all those heals. I mean, at this point, we're going to be basically unkillable. You know what I mean? So he has a place. I know he can be used in a good way. I just haven't committed to using him in one of my Tag Arena teams. Still, I wanted to showcase this guy. So let's go. Let's see. Can we take down this Trunda? Most likely 167k damage. I think we can, right? We're good. We're just going to put this on auto now. It doesn't really matter. At this point, oh no. We didn't want to do that because he's going to clear the debuffs. And we don't, okay, he won't do it right now, but we don't quite want to do that. Because again, I want to showcase these heals off of this guy, right? So let's go to work on this Tormin. We're resisting all that. That's perfect. Going to reduce his turn meter. Good. We're about to get the fear on this guy, I think. Okay, here we go. The poisons are gone. All right. Well, we're not going to get any more heals on this run right here. But overall, I think think you see what I mean. I can use him as a healer if I don't clear the debuffs off this guy, or I can sort of, you know, just use the poisons for, like I said, more damage on him, right? Anyway, let's let this finish right here. Should be pretty easy. Again, I think Gurptuk right there, okay? So you see this sort of like combo that I'm doing. I'm forgetting about the damage. I'm just going for the cleanse with the Mausoleum Mage for heal and turn meter boost, okay? So there's 2 ways to use that. He revived, almost dead. Like, it's a slow team, right? You don't go in here thinking you're going to nuke the enemy team. This is, again, to be in tag arena, to be really annoying for people to deal with. So when they're going to see this team, they're going to be like, I don't have, you know, 3, 4, 5 minutes to kill this team. And so if you use this kind of team also when you're trying to push to platinum, some opponents may be like, you know what, I'm not going to waste 5 minutes on this one battle, because instead I'm going to try and push to finish in platinum. Therefore, I'm going to look for easy teams that I can nuke. This is not such a team. This is not a team that you come in here and they would hope to be able to nuke me, right? Still, I think it's pretty fun to watch. I think it's overall really solid. Gurptuk has a place. I might start using him a little bit more instead of my Rosin, although the Rosin is also usually there to deal some damage, so this would be a little bit quicker for me to try and kill opponents. But since I don't use this really on the offensive that much, might not be needed, right? Also, this provoke from the Skull Lord, that's why I booked this guy. They can't do much. Once this Skull Lord starts provoking this one enemy all the time, they're basically locked up, right? And I think it's good. If this guy would have an AoE provoke, he would be next level, super annoying. But you know, they can't make him too powerful. Okay, we're almost done here. Sorry, this has been dragging on for a long time, and Valkyrie really isn't helping the cause. She keeps counterattacking, but look at the amount of health that she lost, and now she had the fear. At one point, this was going to happen, right? She was going to get killed. Anyway, so guys, let me know what you're thinking about my Gurptuk, the Mossbeard, how he's currently built. Would you change him up? Are you guys using him anywhere else but Faction Wars right now? I think that's the bigger question. So, catch you guys later.